Hello! In today's video, we're diving into the beautiful world of narcissus flowers. Join us as we explore how to start Narcissus Congress and Narcissus Tahiti from bulbs in pots. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, I'll guide you through each step to ensure your bulbs bloom into stunning, vibrant flowers. To answer why video about these two specific cultivars, it's simple. These were ones available in my local gardening center. If you have other cultivars, the same procedure for planting narcissus bulbs in pots applies as well as for these two. Now that title of video is no longer a mystery, let's see when is the proper time to plant narcissus bulbs. In previous video, how to start hyacinths from bulbs, we explained in detail why you cannot simply rely on calendar and month of the year as when to plant your bulbs. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. In short, whether you are relying on hardiness zones for folks who live in USA, or you live in some other part of the world where there is no zone division, fluctuations in temperature in cities around the world makes it difficult to pinpoint exact date and month when to start planting bulbs. So we have to rely on our local climate, nightly and daily temperature averages, in order to know when to start planting. As same as I did with hyacinth bulbs, I will rely on info provided by bulb supplier in order to determine when to plant narcissus bulbs. According to the info, best time of year as when to start planting is when daily temperatures averages below 20 degrees Celsius and night temperatures averages around 10 degrees Celsius, also having in mind that planting has to be done at least 1 month before first ground freeze, which for my area is late November or beginning of December. So I checked my local weather database and determined that mid-September is the best time to start narcissus from bulbs, since night and day temperatures during that period of the year falls into that desired 10 to 20 degrees Celsius in average, and I am at least 1 month away from first ground freeze in general. Now that we have established when to plant narcissus bulbs, it is time to see how and where to plant them. First order of the business is to procure the bulbs. You can buy them in your garden centers at the appropriate time of the year, or you can replant saved bulbs from last planting season. Narcissus plants come in variety of cultivars, so choose those you like the most, or in my case I have these two cultivars, Tahiti and Congress. Bulbs you are planning to use must be firm and without damage. Discard those that are not in pristine condition. I will be planting bulbs in pots. Unlike hyacinth bulbs which are covered in toxic powder, narcissus bulbs are safe to touch with bare hands, but as it is always the case when gardening, it is desirable to wear gloves. Although this step is optional, it is highly recommended that you disinfect bulbs before planting them. If you do not know the origin of bulbs you are planning to use, or you have bought them from garden center who more likely than not have imported them from Netherlands, there is a fair chance that your bulbs have come in contact with various biological contaminants that can adversely affect health of the bulbs. I will be using 0.5% solution of potassium permanganate for disinfection. Use protective gloves when handling potassium permanganate. In high concentration it can irritate and stain your skin. Using high precision scale, measure 0.5 grams of potassium permanganate and dissolve it in 1 liter of water. Mix thoroughly to dissolve all of the crystals. Carefully submerge all the bulbs into solution and leave them to soak for 15 minutes. Thoroughly rinse the bulbs to remove all traces of potassium permanganate. Leave the bulbs on paper towel to dry for a couple of minutes while you prepare pot and potting mix. Again, using instructions from bulb supplier, use adequate pot that is big enough to house all of your bulbs without one touching each other, and that is deep enough to allow enough space between bulbs to develop roots, and enough space above the bulbs to protect them from frost, if you are planning to leave bulbs outside to overwinter. The bulbs are planted 10 centimeters into the ground, and there should also be additional 10 centimeters of soil beneath the bulbs for root development. So any pot that is at least 20 centimeters deep would suffice. Also, make sure that your pot has enough holes in the bottom for drainage. Now, there is a lot of debate and opinions which potting mix you should use. There is even differentiation between potting mix for bulbs, potting mix for seeds, potting mix for this, and potting mix for that. No pun intended, but that is all malarkey. The only one true requirement for potting mix is that it is not hard, compact type of soil, like soil that is rich in clay. Even if you have hard, compact soil rich with clay, you can always add 1/5 to 1/3 of perlite in overall volume of pot to amend soil and make it more airy and less dense, helping it for better drainage. I will be using the cheapest type of garden soil I can find in my garden center, and I will add 1/4 of perlite to make it less compact. Nothing more to it. There is no need to go bankrupt on count of enjoying your gardening hobby. So let's fill our pot with at least of 10 centimeters of potting mix. If you wish, you can use deeper pot. I should also mention that beside disinfecting bulbs, I have also disinfected my pot and my potting mix. I used bleach to clean the pot, and I disinfected my potting mix by cooking it in microwave oven and leaving it overnight to cool down to room temperature. It would have seemed like common sense to add some type of fertilizer to the mix in order to help bulbs to root and grow. It is not necessary. If the bulbs are healthy, and they have been properly and timely harvested, then they already contain enough of nutrients and all the good stuff for the plant to root, sprout, and develop. That is one of important advantages of starting flowers from bulbs in comparison to starting them from seeds. Plants started from seeds have enough nutrients only to develop first set of true leaves. Plants started from bulbs usually do not require additional fertilizer until after the blooming, and even then, it is optional. Now it is time to plant our bulbs. Take your bulbs and firmly press them into the prepared potting mix in the pot. Do not use excessive force, but make sure that bulbs are planted firmly, so there is no air gap underneath the bulbs. This will prevent bulbs from rotting. You can plant as many bulbs as you wish, but make sure that bulbs do not touch each other. Cover the bulbs with potting mix and press the mix firmly to push out all of the trapped air. You can also tap the pot couple of times to let the mix properly settle. Give your potted bulbs thorough watering. This is the only time you will water your plants, until they sprout, and temperatures rise in the spring, so be thorough. Use as much water as it is necessary, until the water starts to drain from holes at the bottom of the pot. Leave the pot to drain all the excess water out. Empty the tray as many times as it is needed, until there is no accumulated water drainage in the pot tray. To be sure that all excess water has drained, leave the pot for about half an hour to drain. After all of the excess water has drained from the pot, and pot tray is dry, label your pot with name of the plant and date of planting. If you have several same pots, it is easy to lose track which pot has which plant, so label them according to your like. I will place my Narcissus bulbs pots on the balcony, alongside with hyacinth bulbs I have previously planted, since at the time of making this video, the temperature is in that right range between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius, and the pot will be sheltered from wind and other elements. The pot will remain on the balcony until first snow or frost. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this guide on planting Narcissus bulbs helpful and inspiring. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more gardening tips and tricks. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. If you have any questions or want to share your own Narcissus planting experiences, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Happy gardening, and see you in the next video.